Hey, well, hello there, internet traders. We've had some things happen this week, and I haven't put out a video in a while, so thought I'd do so today. The big news is that CPI inflation rate is 1/10 of a percent lower than what was expected. We saw the market spike immediately, and then Jay Powell came out with his articulation and decision regarding rate hikes. Nothing unexpected. He's continuing the pause, but the market must have interpreted the language more bearishly than anticipated, given the lower CPI. I expect the pause to continue, possibly straight up until the elections. Maybe we get one hike drop just before the elections. As I posted or maybe spoke about a couple of weeks ago, the only time we have ever not had a rate hike preceding an election event here in the US is in 2012. Uh, so the odds of a rate change are in greatly in our favor. And furthermore, if there is a rate change, we can expect it to be dropped versus hiked. Right now, we're still in a pause phase, which is giving the dollar a lot of strength. Let's jump into the charts and I will show you what we can expect here for the next week or two. All right. Here is, that's not it, the dollar chart. And let me zoom out here. You can see what my projected price trajectory was. As I anticipated, we would come up and hit our heads on that level of resistance at 105.6. Once again, we have done that. In fact, today we are there almost exactly. And so, I drew this pattern out several weeks ago. Will we follow the trajectory as projected by me, or will something else happen? I mean, chances are that this pattern will continue to be followed. And if so, as I have been sensing all along, um, crypto will eventually uh, turn the corner here from this pullback, and our trend will continue upwards versus what it has been the last 3 months, basically, which is sideways to down. Um, so we have to. This is our leader. The dollar is our leader right now. So we have to pay attention to this. See what the dollar decides to do here over the next few days/weeks. All right, we're right there at their 105.6. So the big question is, are we going to cross to the upside and continue dollar strength, or are we going to continue down? Now, some of that has to do with what's going to happen with BRICS. So we need to pay attention to these news events too. Will the dollar eventually no longer be the key exchange mechanism for oil? Will big countries start to turn their backs on the US dollar and implement their own currency for exchange? That is definitely in the cards for the future. So we need to pay attention because this affects the strength of the dollar, of course. This is what is really driving strength more even than inflation rates at this point, in my opinion, though it's an underlying factor and one that many people discount to some degree. Okay, with the dollar strong, the VIX is pressing up a little bit today. We've got what, a 9% increase in the VIX today. So with the dollar up strong and the VIX coming back up into this, basically this channel that we have maintained for really the past year, um, we should see the SPY down a little bit today, and we do, but it is still continuing that blow off top as expected. Guys, we are almost at our target. My target has been anywhere from five. So this is the first target right here. Let me just circle that. This is the target that I have been calling for the past 2 years on the SPY. And we are getting there. This blow off top, wave five of Elliott wave, is nearing completion. I don't believe it will do so until we get into all of the election shenanigans that are about to take place. But meanwhile, we have the potential to go anywhere from 570 to 600 is where my final target is. At that point, I pull everything out of my out of stocks and I go to something more safe, whether that be cash or gold, whatever your safe haven is. Let me zoom out on this chart so you can see why this has been, if you haven't been following me, why this has been my target. All right, so I am combining Elliott wave. Here's wave one, drop, wave three, drop, and wave five. All right, so wave five, I'm not the best Elliott wave technician. So I found this inverse head and shoulders pattern. All right, so you see the left shoulder here, you see the head here, right shoulder. Remember, I called that the bottom of that right shoulder to a T a few months ago. And anyways, the measurement from the head to the neckline here gives us a target of 570. And this correlates with the Elliott wave theory. So that's where my final target is, although I may remain in just a tad longer to see if we can hit that 600 or higher, possibly even higher. But I start to take a profit off the table at that point, if you will, and go to a safer investment or savings, if you will. Okay, we've also been following NVidia here, and what I've done is taken where we started basically this trend up in NVidia, and I reversed the Fibonacci to give us a final target here. My final target on NVidia is somewhere around 148. All right, I think that's where we stop, and looks right, correct? I mean, let me zoom in here just so you can see. And the reason why I say it looks right is look at the difference that we have to make up to get to that final target versus over here on the SPY, the difference we have to make to get to our final target here. It's about the same. All right. And though we could go higher, just like we can go higher on NVIDIA, that is where I would say it's reasonable to start taking money off. All right. If you're a reasonable person, you want to take some of that profit NVIDIA has given everybody for the past year or so. Okay, down to total 3, and we spiked higher, got out of this triangle, and then total 3 has dropped. It looks to me like we are being attracted to this 200-day moving average. I wouldn't be surprised to see the altcoin market go down and touch that. And that being said, guys, something that I am going to do, which I've never done here. Let me switch over to the Ethereum chart. And let me just, whoops, didn't mean to do that. All right, here we go. Something that I've never done really with my public portfolio is pull out all the stops. But I'm about to take a look at the Ethereum chart, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do that. These market makers are really good now, with the advent of the bot. All right, I do artisan trades, custom trades, and everything is manual. All right, I'm fighting the bots right now. But everybody has bots. And so what these bots will do, what the market makers will utilize to their benefit is the use of these bots to sell people down until they get liquidated. This weekend, I just don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess with getting stopped out and then having to enter all my trades back in, because I know we're very close to turning the corner. We're so close, guys. And you can sense the impatience in so many traders right now. Rightfully so. This is ridiculous. But this is what market makers are utilizing. All right. They're utilizing the psychology of the masses of the traders to get us out of the trade so that they can get in the trade at the best price possible. It makes total sense. And they're using bots to do this, and the bots will sell us down. That's why we're seeing these big old wicks. Let me just jump back into the charts to show you that. Oh man, it keeps switching on me. There's a hotkey that messes up my trading view. But anyways, all right, so here we are on Ethereum, and you can see this inverse head and shoulders pattern that I had drawn some time ago. And let me get my arrow. Here's where we're at today, and you can see this 50-day SMA about to cross with the 100-day SMA. All right, that's a bullish sign, but the fact that we're under 3,500, our support here on Ethereum, has me a little bit concerned that the market makers are going to dip us down, possibly wicking all the way down to 3,200 before we move back up rather swiftly. This would take a lot of the longs out of, most of the longs out of the trade. And at that point, their bots come in, swoop in, and buy down here while everybody else is out. All right. So we have to be careful of this strategy. It is definitely something that has been utilized over and over again. You can see the wick here, all of these wicks. All right. This is where these bots came in, sold, shook everybody out of the trade. Look at all these wicks. There's no body that closes down here. These are all wicks down to shake people out of the trade. All right. I don't want that to happen to me. In my opinion, my best strategy for at least this weekend is to pull out all my stops on my current longs and just let it ride. I really don't care anymore. I mean, I'm tired of getting shaken out of trades and then having to enter manually again. I'm tired of fighting these bots. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to pull my stops out and let it ride. Whatever happens, happens. I don't care. I just don't care. Something I am spotting here, guys, and I'm going to zoom into maybe the 4-hour or the 1 hour so you can see it better, is a pretty bearish, bullish. I would say bullish. Actually, you can see it better on the daily, if I'm being honest. All right, so see this descending wedge here. That's what I'm seeing. That may not be a descending wedge, but let me zoom back into the 4-hour to see if we can check that out. Sure looks like it to me. So that's a bullish sign, and it might mean that we actually don't wick down and do that 3,200 touch. All right, it might mean that earlier than that, we'll use this 100-day and 50-day as support, and we just won't break below that 50-day and 100-day. All right, pretty positive sign here on Ethereum. And so Ethereum is kind of what we're following, why I jumped there first before Bitcoin, because Ethereum currently has greater influence on the alts at this point due to the up and coming ETF. All right. And I think that is impacting or influencing these alts a little bit greater than Bitcoin. But we always do look at Bitcoin. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see my levels. Again, I drew this several weeks ago. I had thought that maybe, we weren't actually going to follow the price projection that I had anticipated, several weeks ago, if not a month ago, where we could come back down and touch this multi-year resistance. I've had this drawn since 2019. And we have been utilizing it because it has still definitely been significant. And so we're now back above it, which is bullish. But Bitcoin could, break down just like Ethereum, and it could, really quickly wick down and touch this multi-year resistance one last time, kissing mama goodbye before we go to the moon, really. This inverse head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin that I've drawn has a target up here of this blue ascending line, which is also a very long-term trend line. Where does that come from? Let's see if we can. Okay, so back here in February 2022 is when I first drew this and touched an area here. And so my projection, and it coincides with the target of this inverse head and shoulder pattern, is that before all the election stuff takes place here in the US, the shenanigans that we're going to see more of, because it is just really, hopefully I'm not being offensive to anybody, but we live in a banana republic now. It's just the way it is until the collective shapes up and stops the nonsense. The children that are in office. I mean, these guys, honestly, guys, it's like we're having kindergartners, and we call them our authority. It's absolutely ridiculous. And quite honestly, I'm insulted that we allow these guys. I mean, it's just insulting to me that these guys are in charge of our politics here in the U.S. Absolutely insulting. They're miscreants. The brains on these guys are amounts to no more than primitive caveman. They're no less equipped or no more equipped for anything other than bashing out the brains of a reindeer. It's just they are unevolved species, and we call them our leaders and authority. Makes no sense to me. Rant over. Target on Bitcoin before all the election shit begins is around 85, maybe 90,000. All right, so that is my wrap up for today. Hope it makes sense to you all, and you can know what to plan and prepare for. Until the next video, peace, y'all.